Hello and welcome to a tutorial on how to create animated light ribbons using Blender. This tutorial will draw on various aspects of Blender such as modeling a basic ribbon, manipulating the 3D cursor, creating a gradient texture from scratch, attaching the gradient texture as a material, using cycles rendering in the node editor, using cloth and turbulence force physics, running an animation and using keyframes, pinning and hooking the ribbon to constrain its movement, using the graph editor to add random movement, using the compositor to adjust the ribbon colors, rendering the animation as PNG images, and compiling the PNGs into a video. This tutorial should be viewed as more of a project. However, I've done my best to keep it simple enough that beginners can follow along as well. While I won't be going in depth on any one area, it should at least give you some ideas on what all Blender can do. Alright, there's a lot to cover, so let's get started. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and start a new project. We won't need the Tools panel right now, so let's press T to toggle it off. We're going to be using cycles rendering, so be sure to select it from the drop-down. I am also going to turn up the rendering resolution percentage scale to 100%. And set the end frame to 4320. At 24 frames per second, that will give us 3 minutes of animation in the final video. I also like to scroll out on the timeline window so I can see all of the frames while I work. Next, let's set the render samples to 1 for both preview and render. What we are doing doesn't require multiple samples, so it will drastically reduce our rendering times. Now, let's go into the world properties and set the background color to be pure black. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and delete the default cube and light source. Please note that I have reversed my left and right mouse click functionality so that I select objects by left clicking, and I move the 3D cursor around by right-clicking. Next, we'll click on the camera to select it, and press N to bring up the Properties sidebar. We'll use this to position the camera. Let's move the camera to -15 along the y-axis, and 0 on the x and z axes. Let's also rotate the camera to 90 degrees along the x-axis and 0 degrees along the y and z-axis. Alright, our rendering, world, and camera are all set up. And that's it for part 1 of this tutorial. I know we haven't done much yet, but if you find these videos to be helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. In part 2, we'll model the first ribbon, turn it into a cloth, and add a turbulence force to get it moving. See you then.